To quote Beau of the Fifth Column, a video blogger that I really appreciate watching, hello, Internet people. Welcome today to the third part of my 5-part Lenten disciplines chit chat. Today I'm talking about fasting, so this might be a quick one. Fasting is, of course, obviously the discipline of taking time to not eat or drink. The idea that we purify ourselves, we take time to allow our bodies to heal from the things that we put in ourselves, the toxins and the chemicals and all of the crap that we consume. Even if we try to eat healthy, intermittent fasting is probably not a bad idea. Now, I'd like to preface this by saying, if you have health issues, like if you're diabetic, fasting, not a good idea. Talk to your doctor. If you have other issues in your metabolic world there that would require you to eat properly or eat at certain hours and things like that, fasting is not recommended. Okay, talk to somebody professional before you try to do that. The food fasting, anyway. So fasting traditionally is taking time out of your taking a look at what you eat and when you eat it and what you drink and what you drink when you drink it, and changing that schedule. So for some people, like for instance, for a long time, it was fasting from meat on Fridays, especially during Lent. And there's lots of communities, not just Roman Catholic, but lots of communities where fish Fridays are the thing. You'll still find restaurants, particularly found in the East Coast. You'll have that the special of the day on Friday will be a fish dish because people were fasting from meat on Fridays. People will fast because they want to kickstart a diet, but the idea is you're detoxifying, you're getting rid of things from your body, allowing your body to begin a new process of healing. And fasting is important. We all do it in one way, shape, or form. Sometimes it's for blood work. You're fasting blood work. You have to not eat or drink anything after midnight before you get your blood work done in the morning for things. It's that kind of thing. But fasting, what is the purpose of it if it's not just your body? So we're talking about fasting. It isn't just simply like Jesus going out to the wilderness and not eating anything for 40 days and 40 nights. Don't recommend that at all for you or for me. Not smart. It's this taking something away. It's like removing something from our lives that we maybe are used to having on a regular basis for the intention of purifying ourselves. So lots and lots of people do things like give up chocolate for Lent. My favorite thing is the coincidence of the Roll Up the Rim program for Tim Hortons, which years ago I noticed landed always right around the same time as Ash Wednesday. And why do you think that might be? I don't know for sure, but could it be that enough people in society years ago were taking Lent seriously enough that they would give up donuts or coffee, caffeine for Lent? And so come Ash Wednesday through Easter, Tim Hortons, did they see maybe a decline in sales? And so what did they do? They bring out the Roll Up to the Rim event, which encourages people to go in and buy coffee and donuts and things like that. And it seems to have stuck. I don't know that is why Tim Hortons brought in the Roll Up the Rim event. But until the last couple of years anyway, Roll Up the Rim has always been coincidental with Lent. So, conspiracy theory, I don't know. Maybe I'm right. Who knows? Point being that enough people in society are aware of this giving something up for Lent thing that it does have an impact. Lots of people will do things like give up chocolate for Lent. Hence, Easter Day becomes an overdose of sugar because you've stayed away from it, or theoretically stayed away from it, and then you get your Easter bunnies and all the food and all those things, and you go crazy on Easter Day and make yourself sick. But what kind of fasting might there be other than giving up food? I think fasting can also be an opportunity to purify other parts of our lives. Maybe fasting from television. I know of a priest who doesn't even own a television. I know of she listens to the radio and has her computer for those things that she might need to watch specifically, but does not actually own a television. I had a professor who only had a TV and a VHS VCR because he would have us record Bible studies that we would teach, and then he would grade us on that in theology in the Master of Divinity program at Huron. And so his TV was just one that he used simply, literally, for his work purposes, because he did not watch television. I don't know about you, but by the time I'm done my day, sometimes a good program on TV is exactly what I need. A drama, or I really like watching HGTV, the House Hunters International, and My Lottery Dream Home, and things like that. I love seeing other parts of the world. Rob loves the Food Network, watching the different programs, and I've benefited from that because he takes those ideas and makes food out of them. So hockey, what would Saturday night be without Hockey Night in Canada? And I know we could get it on the radio, but it's just not the same thing. The color commentary, no matter what a good job they do, doesn't quite match seeing the jerseys and the skates on the ice. It just doesn't. So television could be something that someone might choose to fast from, but it shouldn't just simply be because I have to give something up, and this is a soul-sucking, time-consuming habit I have. Well, if you're trying to break the habit, then maybe that's a good idea. But I think it needs to be more about what is it that television is doing in your life or to you, that's what you want to give up. If you are addicted to television, then certainly that's a great fast, because it's distracting you, taking you away from your relationship with God. For some people, it might be technology. Now, that doesn't seem really realistic in this day and age, but it could be that you decide, I'm not going to check my Facebook or my phone after supper at night. I'm going to put my phone away. If it's a work thing, they can get me in the morning. If they really need me, they can call the house, that kind of thing. And that's important, because if you recognize that your phone or your iPad or your tablet are taking you away, are distracting you from God, then maybe that's a good thing to fast from. Other things to think about are maybe a little bit more, not specifically, maybe you might not think of this as fasting as a traditional thing, but maybe fasting from swearing. I know people who have had swear jars, and every time they swear, they throw a quarter in there. By the end of Lent, they have a really hefty jar of donation quarters to the church. And they've also then caught themselves in a position where they recognize when they're swearing and they stop. They change, they repent, they're penitent, they repent, they turn around, they change their ways, they take on a new habit, not swearing. But also things like having compassion. How many of you out there get really frustrated by road rage? Or when you drive up to the Tim Hortons outlet and there's two there and you pick the next one to go, and then the person in front of you is so slow that there's like 5 people who are behind you go through the other one. Maybe I'm just projecting, but I get really antsy. I keep forgetting that it's convenient, not fast. But being compassionate, being patient. So fasting from impatience, fasting from being judgmental, fasting from those things that cause us to become toxic. So when we fast from food, we're fasting from maybe colors and dyes and chemicals and things like that, things that build up in our bodies and make us sick. By fasting, we detoxify. We let all of that stuff get out of us, and we don't put it back in. And fasting for us during Lent can also be an exercise in changing the way that we think. Fasting from being anxious, fasting from being angry, fasting from being nitpicky, and replacing those with peace. If you're anxious, replace that with prayer for peace and being calm and breathing deep breaths until we're not anxious anymore. If we're being nitpicky, letting go of being nitpicky and being accepting and saying, you know what? I wouldn't have done it that way, but that's how they chose to do it. To each his own. Do you see what I'm saying? Letting go of something that seems to be building up the toxins in our souls so that we might be refreshed. That when we come out of this Lent and we receive the gift of Easter, the gift of resurrected life, that our lives might indeed be resurrected here as well as in eternity. That we might be better people by the time we get through this Lent. So there's my call to you to fast. So self-examination, penitence, prayer, fasting. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Think about what you're going to fast, and don't give up food and drink, okay? Just pick something else, but take care of your body as well as your soul. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow. Church at Home with Rachael.